What's up, O fans? It's Sam here, joined by my good friend Cait. How are you, Cait?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really good.
That's perfect.
Cait is a multi-talented young lady. One of your favorite passions is the outdoors. You worked in forestry for a long time. You've been an expert camper, backpacker,
Yeah.
long-distance hiker, all sorts of things in the outdoors. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've done it all.
That's great. And you do have a couple of Olights to your name already. You've got an S2R baton too. You've got an O-clip.
Yeah, and I also have the spear as well.
Oh, the sphere. Yeah, and
it's
the
really
O-Bulb
cool.
Pro.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you love those for in the tent, the music festivals and all
Yeah,
that.
especially at music festivals, people really love those spheres.
That's great. So that's a good introduction to your outdoor pedigree and your Olight history. But
Yeah.
today we're here to talk about a camper's viewpoint on the Perun 3 mini headlamp. Yours is orange and mine is black.
Yeah,
Yours is cool white and mine's high CRI.
exactly.
I enjoyed mine. How did you enjoy yours?
I really loved it. It was probably one of the best headlamps I've tried before. It was really lightweight and really technical, and it was something I haven't experienced in a headlamp before. I love the engineering of the light, but for me, it was actually the headband itself. I've actually previously used Olight headbands for the baton, and I actually found that this was absolutely amazing because it was super perforated and lightweight and breathable, and I could feel that as I was wearing it. And it
That's
just
awesome.
felt like nothing was on there.
That's awesome. Yeah, the
Yeah.
perforations definitely help the breathability. What do you think about the silicone that's on the back for grip? Don't mind that?
I really liked it. I find like as a girl with like long hair, oftentimes when I'm wearing a normal like headlamp or headband, I find it kind of lifts my hair up, but this keeps everything in place, and I like it a lot.
Awesome. Let's talk about how this clips in there. The pocket clip, you get to keep the pocket clip on the
Yeah.
flashlight at all times. So that makes it a really handy EDC flashlight. Then you can keep this, it folds up really, really small. You know, it's just a really small, it doesn't take up much
Yeah.
space, but then when you need it, it's all good to go. The pocket clip indexes on the bottom side here and then locks in with this push button mechanism on the top. So after a little bit of practice, you can basically do it one-handed. If it's on your
And it's super
hat.
secure too, like how it kind of clips on both sides. And so
Yeah.
it just feels like it's super accessible. And then you can also take it off as well.
Really
like,
easy.
Pretty easily, yeah.
Yeah, the push button's right there, and you just push it loose, and it just drops right free. And like I said, with a little bit of practice, come on now, there, you can do it while it's on your head.
Look at that.
Now, being that it's so small and lightweight, the only compromise there is the amount of battery that you can fit inside of this. I was running mine on medium mode, but all evening at camp. You were running yours at high mode.
Yes.
And we did run out of batteries, didn't you?
Yeah, I did run out of batteries, but one thing is that it actually indicates, it'll indicate with a light that it's running out of batteries. In this case, we were having a good evening and I wasn't looking at it as closely, so it ran out. But one really cool thing I found out is, let's say that you run out of batteries, you can actually put it in here and then you can actually turn it on. There we go. You can see it there, it's on. And so what I can do is, even though it's out of batteries, it's charging currently, but I have it on, so it has this ability to be used while still charging, which is amazing.
That is very interesting that you can use it while it's charging. Now, the other thing that I really like about the charging case is if you press and hold the button on the side, you can ramp up the brightness so that you can get exactly the right mode that you need for whatever it is that you might be doing. And since it's a right angle flashlight, it points straight out at, like if you had it set up on the picnic table, it would point up at the picnic table and light up whatever it is you're doing. Another cool thing is that you can use it to charge your phone. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's really cool. There's a little port here for it.
Yeah, the same USB-C that you use to charge the case is the same that you can use to charge your phone if you need to. Let's talk a little bit about the beam pattern. What are your thoughts on the beam pattern?
I really like the beam pattern. It's very focused, so it depends on what you're using it for. But for example, I set up my camp around 10 p.m. last night. We rolled in pretty late. But never fear, I had the Perun 3, and what I loved about it was how focused it could be on the tent pegs when I was pegging down my tent. Or another thing I thought that would be really useful for was like if I had to change a tire in the middle of the night or do some sort of mechanic work. Like I feel like for my lifestyle with, being in the woods so often as I am, I think it's just a very, very good for that kind of like lifestyle.
But another thing that I think about is how it's very efficient. Because it's such a small battery, you still want to have a lot of brightness. The best way to get lots of brightness is to have it all focused on one hotspot. So the intensity of the hotspot is really good at any given brightness level. It's a nice bright headlamp. The only compromise is it's a little bit of a focused beam.
And this would also probably be good for something like search and rescue, where you're you're just trying to look in very focused like spots or parts, it's actually going to be something that's, you know, we do some of that work even late at night. So on some of my searches, I think that would be very helpful.
Yeah, because you were a
well.
volunteer with Search and
Yeah.
Rescue for a long time there as well.
Totally, yeah.
Well, that's great. And when you consider that it's a quality flashlight and a quality headlamp, you can do it both. And you can
Yeah.
do both so easily. It's enabled with the headlamp to go back and forth between the two. Having that focused beam pattern as a flashlight, excellent. That focused beam pattern as a headlamp, like you say, depends on what you're doing with it.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice having both in one. And I think, you know, I've had just a headlamp and I only use it for specific things, but this I can use for a multitude of functions, and I thought that was really great about it.
Awesome. Speaking of multitude of functions, there's also red light built in, and we had a pretty good time with red light around the camp. That way, if I had red lamp on and you had red light on, then we weren't kind of blinding each other as we were walking around or doing whatever. So did you like red light around camp?
Yeah, I thought it was like a really good function to be able to have, and even if you're camping in close quarters with other neighbors, it's also nice so you don't disturb people, or you know, maybe you're wanting a little more privacy at night. You don't have to worry so much about the focus being on everything around you. You can just kind of be a little more incognito, and it doesn't ruin anyone's eyes or eyesight or anything like that.
Great.
Keep
So
night vision.
yeah, that's absolutely right. So when you're not spending some time on the farm, being handy out there, and you're not working your marketing job, you also do audio on the side, live music production. Would you ever use red light mode in that setting?
Yeah, I would use red light a lot in that setting. So there's been times, so I work in live sound and I have to work with a bunch of different musicians. And sometimes I'll have to come and I'll have to correct the monitors or whatever the musician wants me to focus on. And so to be incognito, I can use that red light and kind of be a little bit behind the scenes without taking the focus off the stage.
The last thing we should talk about is the color temperature, because people have been asking Olight to make a high CRI flashlight for a long time. And finally they did it in the black Perun 3 Mini. Now I like my high CRI, that's the one I was using. You were using the cool white one, which is a little bit brighter.
Right.
This high CRI is usually, people say it's better at color rendering, but you kind of like your cool white LED.
Yeah, I don't just find it's just like a little more cozy. I find I really liked it.
Okay, well that's great. If you're comfortable with that and you need it to be as bright as possible, go with the cool white version. The high CRI version, if you want, if you think that your colors look better under high CRI, which I think most people think that they do, just know that it isn't as bright, and that's indicated in the owner's manual. So high mode on yours is 500 lumens, high mode on high CRI is 400 lumens. It still runs for about 75 minutes on both. So decent runtime at that nice intense hotspot, 500 or 400 lumens respectively. Well, I think that just about covers it. So thank you very much for sharing your perspective with Olight World. And for everyone out there, if you're interested in getting this EDC flashlight that also is perfectly well integrated with an awesome headlamp and also perfectly well integrated with a charging solution, then I think the accessories make this thing an excellent upgrade from your current headlamp, and it's just a beautiful little thing to have in your EDC kit for one reason or another. So thank you for watching here on the Olight World YouTube channel. Cait, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Sam.
And subscribe, and please leave a like if you've watched this far. We'd really appreciate that.
Stay real, stay Olight.
All right, that's nice. Bye-bye.